Well, hi! Back again. This is Budget Comics with another haul here. I want to start this off. I had a little story last couple videos ago, and I wanted to just tell another story. I like telling stories, and this is I call a story of two books. Now, what we have here is Uncanny X-Men 266 and New Mutants 98. And these I bought as a teenager, some 20 years ago. And these were the first two books I remember buying behind the counter. I usually pulled things from long boxes or got new issues. These were my first two that I actually hadn't, said I want that one and had the guy bring it down. I got them from two different comic book stores. One in Cincinnati, where I was from, and one from Buffalo, New York, for those keeping score. And it's just interesting because if you asked me at the time for Gambit's first appearance there, I paid $25 for Deadpool, Domino's, Gideon's, Copycat, whatever you want to say. I paid $15 for that. And if you asked me at the time, I probably would have said Gambit was going to be the bigger investment that would go up. And while it stayed steady and it's still a fairly sought after and a minor, I like the term grail, a lot of people use minor grail in comic book collecting, it's not what New Mutants 98 is, which is interesting. And that just goes to say, you never know what is going to pan out years later. I saw on the back of New Mutants 98, there was a time where I thought I had to liquidate my collection. I went to a flea market and didn't end up selling anything, but I had it marked for $5, if you could believe that. It's on the back of the book there. And so at the time, and I believe I had that marked for $30. The X-Men marked for $30. So you just never know what's going to stick, and I'm glad it didn't sell. I'm glad things worked out that I was able to keep it, because it's a really awesome book to have right now. So, with that, let us start. This is Marvel Comics Presents 62, and here's another series I would have never thought meant anything, but I've seen many videos and different things lift up Marvel Comics Present. The first Damage Control and some other key first appearances are in here. This is the first appearance, if you see in the corner there, that's Deathlock, and this is the first appearance of the modern Deathlock. Michael Collins that had the series in the 90s, not the Luther Manning Deathlock that appeared in Astonishing Tales. This was the reboot of Deathlock, and this is actually his first appearance here in Marvel Comics Presents 62. So if you're a fan of that character, I don't know how things are going to plan out. I know he's showing up in Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but this is a dollar bin book. Who knows how things are going to go from here. But this, for those of you who are about my age in your 30s, this is probably more the Deathlock you remember than the 70s, early 80s Deathlock. But yeah, dollar book, worth getting. Now here is an undervalued book to me. This is X-Men 25, and it's undervalued because there's a million copies of these, but you can still find this for around $5 in the long boxes. And it is just really a key book in the life of Wolverine, who's one of the more popular characters out there. This is where Magneto strips him of his adamantium. Again, a $5 book. It's got a neat hologram there in the corner, part of the Fatal Attractions storyline. Again, $5. I think you can probably even find the set of these for $15, maybe on eBay or even in comic book stores if they keep sets, which includes Wolverine 75, which is the follow-up to this. So, key book to have for not a lot of money, so worth picking up. Marvel, number 7. Excuse I believe that's Grey Corn cover. That has nothing to do with the book. In fact, this whole series was kind of a spoof on comicdom. But this is an interesting one, as you can see in the Wheel of Fortune type cover there. It says Epic, and this was back in the early 2003, 4, 5, somewhere in there. Marvel brought back the Epic line. It was supposed to be creator-based ideas, and they had like Epic Illustrated, where I think it was supposed to be a quarterly book where there'd be like 4 or 5 stories made by fans, and this actually tells you how to make submissions and form a creative team and everything like that to be part of the Epic line. And it actually even has a price guide, like how much you would get paid. There's actually no story to this, whatever. Marvel, this was part of the you pick thing where there was like 3 titles competing to see what would stay as a monthly title. It was actually Peter David's Captain Marvel that won. This was a spoof on Smallville, if you can't guess. But anyway, there's no story here. It has nothing to do with the previous 6 issues. It just is a handbook on how to make submissions to the Epic line. So, worth picking up, worth having, just for something fun. And also, if you're into making a submission, I'm not saying it will work, but at least shows you what at one time Marvel was expecting for submissions. Avenger Spotlight, number 26. This is the beginning of the Acts of Vengeance storyline. Not much to say about that other than this was a major event in Marvel Comics. If you're a fan of Marvel Comics, well worth picking up. $1 book. Pretty key, major storyline. Maybe we'll make a return. Who knows? So worth picking up for $1. All right, Mighty Thor 16. This is another $1 book. And this is, I'll give you a spoiler. The story here has nothing significant other than the last page, where it turns out Odin is not Odin at all, but Loki. And for those of you who watched the recent Thor movie, again, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, hopefully you've seen it by now, you see that's a very similar storyline. So whether they took it from this or not, it's just kind of neat that this was, 12, 13, 14 years ago. And it's the storyline that's showing up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. So kind of fun picking up if you're a fan of the Marvel movies or just want a little interesting piece of trivia. This mirrors what's going on in the movies now. Shadowland Power Man number 1. This is the first appearance of the current Power Man, who kind of takes off of the Ultimate Spider-Man TV show. Worth picking up for $1. I think he's a member of one of the Avengers teams right now. So, definitely worth picking up. Iron Fist appears in here. Who knows if he'll show up in any of the upcoming TV shows, but he's already on one of the cartoons. So, again, $1 book, worth having. This was a $1 book. This is Batman 475. This is the first appearance of Renee Montoya, who became the Question in the old 52 universe, I guess you would say. Again, a $1 book. Was fairly popular for a while, then cooled off. So you probably could get it. I happened to get it for a good price. You could probably still get it for a few dollars if you look around. So, key character again with the Gotham series coming out. I don't know if she's scheduled to be a part of the cast right now, but she could definitely join the cast. So worth picking up. Ultimates 8. This is the first, and I'm going to butcher this. I'm not good with pronunciation, but this is the Chitauri, the alien race that appeared in the Avengers movie and has still has influence in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is their first appearance. They're kind of like a Skrull-like race. Undervalued book. I mean, it's a $1 book. And actually, this is the first appearance of the Ultimate Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, which is probably the version, again, spoiler alert, if you watch Captain America 2, they're the version that shows up at the end, not the Marvel Universe version. That is owned by Fox, that owns the X-Men, the rights to the X-Men movies. So they're actually two different versions, but this is most likely the version you will see in the upcoming Avengers movie. So worth picking up for both reasons. So there you go. The Avengers Annual 15. This is the first appearance of the Vault. Dollar book. Major prison, villain prison in the Marvel Universe. Always shows up. Just a neat book to have if you're fans of the Marvel Universe. Key location. So well worth having for $1, maybe $1.50. I can't remember. Captain America 607. First appearance of Lady Beetle, who was in the Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Who knows if she'll show up much past that, but dollar book, worth having. Who knows where that series will lead. So we're definitely worth picking up. And here's a big hunch. This is Deadline 2. Dollar book, actually 90 cents, I think. This is the first appearance of the second orb, which I'm trying to remember the websites I've been looking at, but there's this hooded guy that shows up in Original Sin, and they believe that that's the orb. Now, the first orb appeared in Marvel Team Up, I think it was like 15, 16, or 17, somewhere in there, but he died, and then another orb came up, and you don't know who the orb is. He's a motorcycle guy that basically his head is an eyeball, which fits with the Watcher's eyes and all this stuff. And this is where he appears. He appears in just one brief scene playing pool with the Super 8s. And somewhere down the line, in Jason Aaron's run of Ghost Rider, who writes Original Sin, his head becomes an actual eyeball. So, for 90 cents, worth picking up. Whether that means anything, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I don't follow a lot of modern comics. I keep up with the storylines just to know. But definitely worth picking up for 90 cents. And that's it for now. Thank you. Bye.